Over the last 2 years, I have on many occasions been called a conspiracy theorist for some of my opinions regarding the pandemic and the handling of the pandemic by the leaders and the powers that be across not just the UK but across the world as well. And time after time, the truth and the outcome of what's actually happened has become more and more in line with what us so-called conspiracy theorists sort of maybe proposed or suggested might have happened right at the beginning of this very thing. Now, I'm not here to say I told you so, because I think a lot of people would have said exactly the same, and I haven't got absolutely everything right. But a news story today, one amongst many, of course, revolving this so-called killer virus that doesn't appear to be killing anyone, is that across Brazil and many other parts of South America, they're cancelling New Year's celebrations, cancelling all the fireworks, all the festivities, all the frivolity, the music, the concerts, the get-togethers, the celebrations, all being cancelled in the name of the new variant, the moronic variant, as I've taken to calling it, just because if I say the actual O word, it'll probably get my video removed. Yes, I am that much of a conspiracy theorist, of course, right? So, nearly a month in advance, they're cancelling basically people's celebrations, people's social occasions, people's festivities for, at the moment, and the most recent count, 6 cases of a mild flu. 6 cases of a mild virus. And I'll say virus rather than flu because people generally get very up in arms, don't they, when you collate the two and compare the two and say, well, it's basically just a flu. And everyone goes up in arms and calls me an anti-vaxxer and all the rest of it. But I can't help but feel, as I have all along, that there must be something more to this. It's either a massive knee-jerk overreaction, a real deep embedded fear amongst governments and amongst the powers that be that they will somehow mess this up, that they'll somehow fuck it up, get it wrong, and their population's going to be wiped out and they're going to be held to account because they could have done more sooner. There is, of course, that explanation. And hopefully, in many ways, that is the explanation, because the only other explanation must be something darker, must be something more sinister. Why exercise such a high level of control over people's actions, people's whereabouts, people's behaviours, and cancelling people's rights to live, to socialise, and to celebrate together as a nation, if there isn't something more sinister underlying? In the UK, we've already been told that mask mandates were going to be for 3 weeks. Yes, when we heard that magical 3 weeks before? Far too many times. But we know that it's enshrined in law until the end of March, with the opportunity and almost the guarantee that at least in some way this will be extended well beyond then. And then we're going to be into year 3 of this, at a time where less people are becoming seriously ill, less people are being hospitalised, and less people are sadly dying from this virus. But more people are being ultimately affected, both in terms of their health, their mental health, and also in terms of fatalities due to other reasons, either mental health issues, misdiagnoses, the fact that you can't get a GP appointment because they're all off being bribed, incentivised £15 a shot to get jabs into people's arms for some reason, even though they're not totally sure it's even, totally effective against the moronic variant. They're all off doing that, so you can't get diagnosed with something else like this chest infection I'm currently suffering with. I can't actually go and get antibiotics or go and see a GP about it because they're all out being bribed, incentivised to get vaccines into people's arms for some reason, even though they're still considering lockdowns and further measures, which, if we consider we've got like a 90% vaccination rate, we shouldn't need if they're actually effective. It's all bullshit, and I really hope that I'm wrong and it's just a knee-jerk reaction at the, on the basis that they don't want to be seen after the fact as being negligent and not taking action in time. But from someone who's been called a conspiracy theorist and been told that they don't care and they don't care about other people and they're being selfish just because I'd want to go to the pub. And I got told that time and time again when I was anti-lockdown, when I was anti-restrictions. And yes, I did want to go to the pub, right? Let's make no bones about this. But that wasn't the underlying factor. The underlying factor was I didn't want to be deprived of my freedoms. I didn't want to be able to not go to a shop, a pub, go and meet my friends, go and see my family, go and be able to take a drive somewhere. That was my point, because I didn't understand. I wasn't told, and we're still not being told the evidence that these things, face masks particularly, actually work. So yes, call me a conspiracy theorist all you like. Tell me that I'm worried about certain freedoms being taken away from me because I'm selfish, right? That's fine. But don't come crying to me when actually it turns out that us big and ever-increasing band of conspiracy theorists may just have seen something in this that you didn't all those nearly 2 years ago. Stay safe and sane. All the best.